this day is designated for the study abroad program. So we begin this discussion or this presentation, but yours, which is looking at opportunities in Europe, particularly through your program, the Academy for International Education. I will let you introduce yourself as you go on the presentation, and welcome. And you have as much time as you need, but if you could leave us some time for questions, that would be appreciated. Thank you both.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Hamoud, for introducing us. Like Hamoud already said, we are from the Academy for International Education, in German Akademie für Internationale Bildung. So that is what the AIB stands for in our name. My name is Janette. This is Amir. I'm just going to start the presentation and explain first what our organization does, and then I'm going to, in more detail, explain to you what my role and Amir's role is and how it is basically structured and organized. If you have a specific question at any point, please feel free to write it in the chat or raise your hand. I'm happy to answer it while it's open and up in the air before you forget again. And yes, so we're just going to start. Okay, so yeah, about AIB. This is one of our buildings in the beautiful city of Bonn. We have been organizing study abroad programs mainly for American universities since 1993, so for almost 30 years. We have up to 700 students per academic year with us in Bonn, and we are a non-for-profit institution based in the northwest of Germany. Our main source of income, or our main area of expertise, is the international division, which, as I already mentioned, creates tailored semester and summer programs for American students and partner universities. We have several partner universities. I will explain that a little later. And our main focus is that, of course, we want to assure the academic quality of the programs, but also create engaged learning opportunities. Basically have the students experience what they learn in the classroom in real life. We don't want them to just do the same thing they could do in the US in the classroom, but we want them to actually see what's different about Europe, what we do differently, and that what they can learn and what we can all learn from each other. We also have a few other divisions that are part of our work that I'm just gonna quickly mention because they offer some other cooperation opportunities. We are closely affiliated with the Institute for Education and Social Innovation of a private university based in Bonn, Erasmus University. Through them, we are able to issue German ECTS or European ECTS university credits for some courses in the humanities. We also have a co-working section, which is nice for our students to get to know some more local people, some more Germans. And we also offer some further education opportunities for the German public, like we have some dance classes, we have things like German classes for non-German speakers in Bonn. So there's a variety of educational opportunities that we offer in Bonn and that are part of our network. I always like to bring a few people to introduce as well because it makes everything a little more human. So this is our staff. Professor Dr. Marcela da Vega is our academic director. He's a philosopher by trade, and he's basically in charge of running all the academic aspects of our institution. And Sebastian Welter is our money man, as we like to call him. He's in charge of all the financials, of drawing up the proposals, making sure we make the programs most affordable and most valuable for the students from a financial standpoint. And then we have a wonderful housing team. This is Claudia. She has another colleague, Christina. We do place our students in host families. We do believe it's very valuable for them to experience German culture through being in a German family as well. So these are our colleagues who are in charge of that. Then we have the senior academic management team. You can see my colleagues Florian and Mara. Mara's actually in Texas right now, visiting one of our other partners, and Florian is holding down the fort in Bonn. We all have some partner universities that we're more closely affiliated with. Our biggest partner in Los Angeles right now is Loyola Marymount University, and they're my biggest, my main university partner that I am responsible for, but we share responsibilities. Basically, my job is university relations. I work with the departments, with the study abroad offices, the international offices, in creating programs, drawing up proposals, setting up everything that's academic, setting up syllabi, making sure to find the right German faculty to teach them, and basically everything that is like the main organizational and academic structure of the program. And then I will hand it over to Amir for him to explain what his position is.
Yeah, so basically, I'm one of currently 5 junior academic managers at AIB, and we're mostly concerned with the day-to-day operations in Bonn. That includes being the first contact person for the students that are here, creating the schedules, also being the middleman between the students and the faculty that we have in Bonn. Whenever questions come up, of course, the thing needs to be planned in terms of academic trips that we're doing or academic activities. And I'm currently the junior academic manager for the LMU in Germany program. Yeah, and for the most part, I'm going to be, or next spring semester, I'm going to be the junior academic manager for the Lafayette engineering program, which I have already been last year. And so we are pretty much concerned with the day-to-day operations, as I already mentioned, in Bonn.
Yeah. So maybe later on in the Q&A, we can give you some impressions of what that looks like day to day in Bonn.
Some examples
as well,
yeah.
And what our job is, what we exactly do on site if you're doing a study abroad with us. Just something more general about the program, our academic services. So basically, what do? We design curriculum-based education abroad programs, semester programs, summer programs, and also short-term programs. They include curriculum-based study tours. They are, depending on the program, they can be local, regional, national, and international destinations. So with some students, when there's shorter term programs, we just go to the nearest cities, to Cologne, or to the border, to the Netherlands, for example. And with some students, we go internationally, like, for example, we go to Paris, or we go to Copenhagen. We just went there with a group. So that's all doable. It just depends on what you desire and what's most valuable for your program at the time. We provide local faculty to design and teach courses if necessary. Some of our summer programs, for example, are just the American faculty that comes over and teaches their own course. But we also, if necessary, can provide faculty there as well. We do have 3 large universities in the area around Bonn, so there's a lot of local academic talent that we can draw from and that we work with to make sure that we have the best courses that we can offer to the students that also adhere to your university standards. We also have local collaboration partners for academic projects. Like there's, for example, an engineering company that we work with in Aachen, which is a city an hour away from Bonn. And our students, our bioengineering students, work on those projects to design new applications for them, for the medical field. We also offer a lot of workshops for the students, mainly intercultural workshops, but can also be other topics. We sometimes let them participate in conferences that are hosted by our sister institution, the Institute for Social and Education. And we also do project-based collaborations with local institutes and universities. For example, we had an initiative with a university in southern Germany. We have a landscape architecture program, and they designed something for a landscaping exhibition that is always, or urban gardening exhibition that is very big in Germany. And the students were allowed to design a bridge together with German partner students. And even one of their bridges was selected to be built. So it will be built, it will be showcased in the next exhibition in Germany. And they get a little prize money as well. Okay, our logistical services, we also provide a roundabout package. So when you do go on study abroad with us, you will have a lot of pre-departure workshops with us. For example, with my colleague Amir, we will prepare you exactly and prepare the students exactly on what they need to expect when they're in Germany. They get all the information. And as soon as you land in Frankfurt, usually, or in Cologne, we pick you up from the airport and you are in our hands, and we do everything logistically that you can think of. So it's very easy on the faculty. The faculty doesn't have to create everything by themselves or get the students on the bus and figure out the public transportation. That's all us. We do offer, as I already mentioned, student accommodations in host families and student residencies. Some universities want the students to live in dorms, but we actually do prefer them to live in host families because there's a variety of advantages to that. We can get into that a little later. When faculty comes from the university, we also have several apartments in the city center of Bonn that are fully furnished and completely ready and at your disposal. We offer visa support. If you have some students that are not American citizens, can be a little more tricky. American citizens can just come to Germany without a visa to study for a shorter period of time. But for non-American citizens, it's a little harder, but we're very experienced with that as well. Just currently, we have a few students, one from Turkey, one from Egypt, and one from Ecuador, I think, for the spring semester that we're helping with their visa. We always want to make sure we have meaningful extracurricular activities as well for the students that connects them with local culture. We have a big pool of local German students that work for us that also organize cultural events. For example, they go to a nice flea market with the students or to a museum if there's a festival in Bonn that they like, or they take them to their soccer team and play a little round of soccer with them. So all of these things are also important to us. And then we, of course, try to create an up-to-date classroom environment and technological infrastructure that fits your needs for your program as well. All right, just a little bit about who we've worked for in the past. We have some larger German American universities as partners that we've successfully been working with. We have several programs with Penn State University, Lafayette College. I already mentioned Loyola Marymount, where we were the past 3 days. We work with the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. We're actually traveling there on Saturday afterwards. We work at Butler University. We just started a program with the American Association of Teachers of German that we're very excited about. And we also work with another California State University at Long Beach, actually. We have a psychology program with them. And our biggest partner probably is Texas A&M University. We have around 15 programs with them currently. And since they are the biggest university in the US, there's a lot of departments there, but we're very happy with our cooperation with them. Yes, what's probably most interesting to most of you is what areas do we even offer programs in? This is supposed to be a comprehensive list, but it is not finite. So just because something that you might be interested in is not on this slide yet, or you don't know where it could fit, doesn't mean we can't do it. Basically, it's kind of our expertise to create and research multiple areas, academic areas, and create programs in things that we might not have done yet, but usually it works out fairly well. We have our main focuses right now are architecture and urban planning. We have a few programs in that direction. We have business and management programs. We have some science and engineering focused programs. We have film, media, and design as one of our main focuses. We have health, psychology, and medicine as another focus. We do have a performing arts program. We have a liberal arts program. Of course, the focus of ours logically is German culture and language. So we have a few programs in that area as well. And we also are currently building up our internship portfolio because we know it's getting more and more important for students to do internships, and nice if they can combine it with an abroad experience as well. So yeah, a little bit more about studying abroad in Bonn. Some of you might not know where Bonn is. That is totally fine. It's not the biggest city in Germany, but it actually does have a very strategically pleasing location. As you can see on the map, Bonn is in orange in the middle here, and it is very close to a lot of larger German cities. It's the most populated area in Germany where we live. And it is also very close to Belgium, to the Netherlands, to Luxembourg, to France. And within 1 hour of flying, as you can see here, you can make it to London, to Paris, to Prague, to Geneva. And within 2 hours, you're already in Spain, you're in Dublin, you're in Helsinki, in Zagreb. So it's very nice for the students if they want to travel in their free time to, have that base location. Because it's not as expensive as, for example, staying in Paris or staying in Rome, but you still have that at your disposal should you want to go there while you're in Europe. As already mentioned, homestay with local families, really important to us to get them culturally immersed. And we have a large pool of local host families that we've been working with for the past 30 years. Some of them have had 60, 70 American students in their life. We really like to culturally immerse them as much as we can. We like to have day trips and multi-day trips as engaged learning opportunities. We create the academic courses, as I mentioned, designed to fit the students' home university curriculum. It's really important to us that they do not fall behind on their studies just because they want to go abroad, but that they actually can use the credits for their degree program. And yes, so as I mentioned, it's a great starting point for travel. And we also provide other services like a public transportation pass for the students and for the faculty. We have medical support, which is becoming more and more important, especially in these pandemic times. And we do have a 24/7 operated emergency hotline. So at any point, should there be any issues, two of our colleagues are always on hand and would come to a hospital if necessary, or take care of any other issues in country. So that's something you do not need to worry about as accompanying faculty or as an organizer of the program with us. Yes. Okay. Just a few pictures from Bonn, since most of you probably have not seen a lot of Bonn before. You see the beautiful Rhine River, the largest river in Germany and one of the largest rivers in Europe. You see the DHL tower in the back. Then we are very famous for our cherry blossom trees that bloom in the spring. You see one of our castles there, the Drachenburg. We're actually the most castle-dense area in all of Europe, so you can drive for 3 hours and see a few hundred castles if you choose so. It's a very nice area, and what you see in the down there, the sort of orangey yellow building, is the University of Bonn with a large garden area. So there's a big university population there as well. Bonn only has about 325,000 inhabitants, so it's fairly small. It's fairly easy to navigate, especially for students that have never been abroad. This is very comfortable in comparison to places like Paris or Berlin, where even I can be overwhelmed at times, even though I travel quite a bit. It's an international college town, has deep history and rich cultural scene. We're the birthplace of Beethoven, which any person from Bonn will tell you a lot about, and we have a lot of music festivals because of that. And we have excellent state-of-the-art museums as well. We have a really dense public transport system, and we are close to 3 major international airports that you can fly in and out of. And we already mentioned the central location in Europe. Bonn is also a large business hub, one of the largest in all of Germany. We actually have the seat of DHL that you might have heard of, the Deutsche Handelslogistik. They're one of the biggest shipping companies and transfer of goods in all of Europe and the world. Deutsche Telekom, you might know as T-Mobile, big communications provider, has their headquarters also in Bonn. Deutsche Welle is a newscasting agency that casts from Germany news in English about Germany into the world. And you might have heard about Haribo, the candy company. The BO stands for Bonn, so that is a big part that our students enjoy. They go to the Haribo outlet and get all the candy that they can fit into their suitcases. Bonn is also a very international place in general. So because we used to be the capital of Germany during the Cold War, so in between 1945 and 1990, we actually were kind of, when the capital of Germany moved to Berlin, we got the UN as reparations because they took the capital from us. So we are now home to 16 UN organizations. We're the UN capital of Germany. And we have, have several organizations from the UN that are in Bonn: the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the United Nations Volunteers, the UN University, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, and the World Health Organization and European Center for Environment and Health are also there. So we have a big sustainability hub. You've probably heard of all the climate conferences. Yeah, the most famous one, probably the one in Paris, but there are yearly conferences as well. There are always a smaller conference that happens in Bonn. And we have over 170 other international institutions and NGOs that are located in Bonn because of its strategic location. One of the largest, probably the International Paralympic Committee that organizes the Paralympics. We also have the International Council for Local Environment Initiatives and the World Wind Energy Association. Yeah, so I will also would like to tell you, you see some of our students there on the right. We'd also like to tell you just in general what is possible, what are things that we offer that we could create for you. So our main focus is, like I already mentioned, faculty-led summer programs. We have a summer 1 and summer 2 session. We work with the American calendar, so our spring semester is like your spring semester, and our fall semester is like your fall semester. And then we have summer 1 from May to June, and then from July to August we have a summer 2 session in between semesters for the students. And then, of course, the faculty-led or department-organized semester programs, spring or fall. The difference is that some of them send faculty from the US and some of them do not. We also organize faculty field trips, like, for example, a Maymester or spring break and fall break programs, if there are teachers that would like to, or professors that would like to extend their class on something Germany related to a field trip for 1 or 2 weeks after the semester is over. That's also something we have organized. And we're also working on a future AIB-owned semester program that we open to all American universities, and where you can earn transfer credits, European transfer credits to from the university that we work with. And as already mentioned, we also have some internship opportunities for several partner universities that we also provide. All right. Yeah, I also have some links here. If you want to check out our website and the Instagram, you can see a little bit about what the students have been doing this semester and in the past. I also am leaving my email address here if you want to reach out. I know Hamoud is also going to, of course, provide that for anybody who's interested. But yes, that is it for me. I don't want to talk too much, and I'm looking forward to a discussion and any questions that you might have.
Oh, thank you so much, Janette and Amir. The floor is open if you have any questions. I see Ken has his hands up. Go ahead, Ken.
I was clapping, but I do have a question. Actually, thank you so much for that great presentation. It was an amazing overview of all the opportunities. You had mentioned you could talk a little bit more about like what the day-to-day would be like, and then also I was wondering about opportunities for faculty to come over as well.
Do you want to?
Yeah. So the day-to-day pretty much looks like what it would look like in any other university, I would say, because we see ourselves as like a satellite campus for our partner universities. So the students have fixed schedules with all the courses that they want to take and that we offer. And what separates us from like regular university programs is that we have built-in study tours and study trips in several weeks during the program, especially for the semester programs. Of course, also in the summer programs, which are a little more condensed. Meaning, for example, the students will have 2 weeks of regular classes, and then in the next week coming up, we'll go to one of our study tours, for example, either to Berlin, which is the one that we usually do for a lot of programs within Germany. And then we also have an international longer study tour where we go to one other major European city, or at least one other major European city for a few days, 4 to 6 days usually. And then in between, we do daily study tours where we just go to like more local centric cities and communities close to Bonn. So the students don't feel like they have to sit in class all day, and combine that kind of with activities that are fitting to their respective programs and courses that they take.
And to your second question, opportunities for faculty. Usually every program sends faculty either for the entire program. Usually for the summer, they send their faculty for the entire program, or they send them for just parts of the semester. But generally, we always encourage, connecting the faculty to other universities, professors in Bonn. We, for example, what comes to my mind is we have a program with Texas A&M University with their public health emergency preparedness is what it's called. And with a public health program, they do, pandemics research and natural catastrophes. And we have a professor there, and through our network in Bonn, she made a lot of connections to German disaster response teams. And we hosted her in Bonn since she's working with us, and she's a partner from our university. And she was there and made connections, and they do research together and they work on projects together. So we're always happy to connect faculty if they want to come. And we've had faculty that stayed a little longer, actually applied for Fulbright. We assisted them with, housing and all that, and their visa. So there's also a couple of opportunities for the faculty of universities that we work with that are not necessarily have to be refined to whatever program they are going on with the students.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think I believe, is Mario with us? Mario was one of our people or faculty introduced us to your program, Janette and Amir. And he may want to say something about the experience he had in Germany and I think in France as well. Mario, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, you have a different name, Mario.
I have a
You're
different
not
name because
Kirsten.
I'm in a colleague's office right now.
You are what?
In a colleague's office. Here at
All right.
Dominguez.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Mario.
Yeah, I was invited by Glenn Gephardt from Loyola Marymount University, who is the time was the chair of the School of Film and Television. And I came to Bonn to teach some courses in lighting. And we did that for a week. Glenn Gephardt has been involved in this organization for many years. And I was involved with Loyola Marymount for 19 years, teaching part-time here. And I've been a member of Cal State University for over 35 years. So I thought it was an idea that to present Hamoud, who has been somewhat of a friend for some time, and to introduce them to this program. I thought the program was well put together, that the facilities were very adequate. I stay in one of the apartments that they have on that big house that they show at the beginning, and everything worked out very well. All of the logistics from coming from LA to Frankfurt and then having it picked up over in Bonn, and everything worked out very well. I met a lot of other people at that organization over in Bonn, and I had a good impression. So I talked to Janette there, and I said, Janette, I'm going to give you introductions. And this is where we are right now, after the introduction. So hopefully this is something that this university, Cal State Dominguez Hills, might be interested in engaging. And I'm from the DMA, Digital Media Arts Department here at Dominguez Hills. And I have about 40 students in the class that I'm teaching right now. So I thought it could be an interesting opportunity for some of the students involved in digital media arts.
Oh, thank you, Mario. Anyone, do we have other questions? You could write your question on the chat as well. Anyone, does anybody have a question? See, just imagine you are in a classroom and you're asking your students to ask questions and nobody answers. So make it easier on us, because I know you have questions, or at least pretend to have one. Otherwise, I'll just ask.
I have a quick question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, so for students, the cost of living might be also important. So how is it like that, like in terms of housing and then, all the accommodations? Could you explain to us.
So very quickly, Dr. Kim Yeji Ken is in the political science department, and she does a lot of work with our office. Welcome, Kim. Go ahead, Janette.
Hi, Kim. Thank you for your question. I understood correctly because the connection was a little bad for a second. You were asking about the cost associated with housing.
Yes, cost of living for students. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So everything, it's basically on a 2-meal basis, housing and in the host family, as well as a breakfast and a dinner are included in the program cost. And then the students just provide for their own lunch. And the way it works is it kind of depends on the university partner. You know, we have some universities we work with that generally have a more affluent student population, like Yamanian, for example. They usually stay in host families, you know, and like as a single person, and they have a little bit more, that costs a little bit more. But for example, with the California State University Long Beach, the program we made, they also were concerned with cost because they have some low income students as well. So we were working out basically a deal to make it more affordable for them, that they stay together with another student in a host family, which of course reduces the cost because you know, you share a space for the time that you're there. And so we are generally very concerned with making everything available to everybody. We are a non-for-profit, so we're not scratching anything off the top. We basically have to legally work in a frame where we don't make a lot of extra money. So we really put everything into the students. We have several programs, also the one with the Association for Teachers of German that we developed specifically to keep the cost down. So if you develop a program, you know, of course, going to a place like Copenhagen will up the price for the students. But there are also wonderful places in the area that you can visit that are just as a good experience. So basically what would happen if you were interested in that program is we would draw up a proposal and we will let you know, these are the exact costs. Then the university, you know, your administrators, and you look through it and you say, oh, this is not realistic for students in that regard. Is there anything we can do, you know, to bring down the cost of the study tour or for the housing? And then we try to work as much as we can to make it more affordable. And one other thing about costs is that Bonn is a fairly cheap city to live in. So once you have your housing settled, groceries, for example, in Germany are a lot less expensive. The students already have a public transport pass for the whole city, so they don't have to worry about getting around, paying for that. They basically just have to pay for their lunches. And there are very affordable street food options. For example, if you have a really good, decent lunch for €5, which is around $5 at the moment. So Bonn is really a fairly cheap place for students to live should they choose to go abroad. Much easier for them than if they were to go to Paris and have to pay €20 for every lunch if they have financial troubles. So that is something that we're very aware of and that we always try to work around as much as we can.
It was really helpful. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. There's a question in the chat, I believe.
Yes.
If art history has been offered. We actually have an urban arts and architecture program that's right now an Amir's program. And I know we had an arts history specific course in the past. So I know we have faculty connections there, and we definitely have a lot of interesting museums and opportunities in the area around Bonn. So that is absolutely something that is within the realms of possibilities for us.
Okay, I have a question, and it has to do with housing. Can students leave if they don't want to stay with homestay? Can they live in apartments?
Yes, we do have the student dorm option. We have some universities, for example, Penn State, they always offer to all their students. They say you can choose either homestay or you choose to stay in an apartment. The apartment option comes at an extra cost. So the students would pay a little more, but we do have apartment options. They're not single apartments, but the students would share with one of their other colleagues. So there are 2-people apartments, there are 4-people apartments, but they're all by AIB students. And most of the time, if it's not just one student from Dominguez Hills, for example, they would be in a apartment with one of their other colleagues from the same program.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have other questions? Anyone? Do you have Janette or Amir? Maybe you want to expand a little bit on designing the course that you talked about, the curriculum. How can for us usually it's faculty, if they want to lead a program, they do the normal way that you're doing. The designing part of it, that's interesting to me.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the way it usually works is, we make contact through the university. So we are introduced either through international office or through the department to faculty that says, oh, I would like to run a program in Germany. Then the way it works is we have a first Zoom call, or if we're able to meet in person, we meet in person and have a discussion about what course offering it is. Oftentimes it's a course that they have already taught at home at their local university, and they want to expand it and increase and add certain issues to it, or sometimes they even just have an idea and they say, I always wanted to do something in the area of German history from the 19th century. What can you do for us? And then what we do is we work together. We first collect ideas, what are local areas that we can visit, what are museums, what are sites, what are events in Germany that could be relevant to that specific topic. We create a list for them. We say basically these are ideas we have, and then it's a back and forth where they send us a syllabus. They say this is kind of the course I'm looking at. I say, oh, I can substitute it like this. We could offer this, and that. And then if they need an additional faculty to teach, they would tell me this is faculty. I need someone else for this second course. Can you look for them? I would reach out. Reach out to our contacts at the university. There would be a shared Zoom meeting to make sure that everybody's on the same page. You would get a CV of that person, of course, as well, and make sure that person would be accredited by your university. So it's basically a back and forth of adjusting the course to what's offered in Germany and adjusting our offer to what the course needs. Usually is a process of about 1 to 2 months of back and forth. And then we have a final outline of program. I would send you a complete calendar of what the program would look like, when we would go where, and when you will have your classes, and what other extracurricular activities we're offering to the students. So yes, that's kind of the outline of how we create these programs.
One other question, since you opened this door,
yes.
What are some of the fun things that you find students and faculty do? We are always asked about the memorable things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of our favorite things, I think, is the Christmas markets right now in Germany. So if you were to in the winter, it's a really wonderful experience to be in Europe for the Christmas markets, just all the lights and atmosphere and the food. There's a lot of festivities outside in Bonn. I think students really enjoy that. It's a lot of sports activities to do there. There's always a big flea market and a giant park in Bonn. There's a lot of outside festivals, movie screenings. There's sports in the park that are offered by the university. So usually faculty and students really take advantage of that. We have some English movie screenings at the theater that students tend to want to go to. So there's really a lot of cultural things in Bonn that the students do.
Yeah, and I think what's also very important is that everything is in such close proximity in Bonn. So everything's walkable. The park that Janette just mentioned is the university park, so it's Reddit University. It's within maybe a 7-minute walk from where AIB is located in Bonn. There's a lot of university students from the University of Bonn there, so it's easy to interact with people from Germany as well. If that's something that the students here are looking forward to. And it's just so easy to get around. I think that's like one of the major things in Bonn. Everything's walkable. Like Janette mentioned, we have cinemas, movie theaters, so very close by. The parks are there. There's concerts in the park where people can just walk to. So it's, yeah, you have a lot of opportunities for free time activities in Bonn for sure. A lot of great museums as well. So yeah.
Oh, let me ask you another one, the other way around. What's the worst one?
I think sometimes our buses are not as punctual as they should be.
Oh, you haven't been in LA, so it can be worse than in Los Angeles. So you're okay. Yeah.
Probably. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, our weather can be a little tricky.
Oh, yeah.
It's Central Europe, so maybe the summer is beautiful, but in the fall it can get a bit rainy. It's still nice, but we cannot advertise with Los Angeles. We cannot be confident in regards to weather. We have to make up in other areas.
Well, listen, I have someone I really want to bring to the discussion is Brian. Brian, are you there with us? I see you are behind the scene.
Yes, Hamoud, good to be here. I'm just listening, and it sounds terrific. This looks like a great opportunity for students and faculty.
I know, and you have a fantastic program, particularly with the undergraduate student. Janette and Amir, Brian is the the director of negotiation, conflict resolution, and peace building, and he teaches.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And he does some fantastic programs, one of our better programs on campus. And go ahead, Brian. Any questions, any thoughts? And yeah.
No, I was thinking Bonn is the home of Beethoven, right? Isn't that where Beethoven was originally? And the whole museums and history. It's quite a historical place.
Yes.
But a wonderful place, actually.
We have a yearly festival for Beethoven. There's a lot of museums.
Wow, isn't that amazing? Yeah, so culturally quite interesting for people too, I imagine. Yeah, that's neat. So I'm just really supporting your efforts. I think this is a terrific thing.
Wonderful, Brian. It's always a pleasure having you. Any other questions? Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah. We also have Marwan from the library. Marwan, how are you doing? I think.
Doing great, Hamoud. Enjoying the presentation. Thank you all.
Wonderful. Does the library have opportunities to do faculty-led programs?
Well, library faculty are like other faculty. I'm not sure
yeah.
if there are programs there for library faculty. If your staff, employees in the library have faculty status or not. I know it varies from institution and country to country.
Yeah, because on our campus, I haven't seen any opportunities coming from the library. We have always had, and your group is amazing, particularly the work that your faculty are working and the program review, the curriculum, wonderful people and excellent people in terms of qualification and production. Are any thought there about doing programs like this, Marwan? And I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, is that directed towards me?
Yeah, to you, Marwan. Just wondering.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'll ask for Janette to see if there is any sort of wind opportunities for people who do library work. Yeah.
Oh, I think there would certainly be interest on our end for sure. I'm just not sure what kinds of opportunities there would be for librarians over there. We do have an information literacy, a 3-credit course we teach here, but that really is the extent of the teaching, other than episodic one-shot information literacy sessions where our faculty would meet with faculty from the academic colleges, and they would teach usually like a 1-hour session in information literacy to their students. But yeah, I'd be curious to know if there are opportunities like that for our librarians.
I mean, I have to admit, I'm not an expert on libraries yet, but there's definitely, I can imagine that there's some really great libraries in the area, and I can imagine that there might be, some organizational differences or some structural differences as well that could be interesting to the students there. So yeah, I mean, Europe is very Germans are very much into books and information. Actually, German is the language after English where the most academic publications are rated. I always assumed it was Spanish, but it is German actually. So I'm sure there would be some interesting possibilities to look into if you give me some more information maybe after this meeting with what exactly you're offering, and if I read into it a little bit more, I'm sure there would be something interesting there.
Great, thank you. Look forward to it.
Me as well.
And I understand, Janette, you have, I mean, you design programs or you meet requests.
Yeah.
This is the type of program you would be interested, for example, just as an example, yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. Any other insights, any other things that we need to know? Any other secrets, maybe, Janette, Amir, yeah, that you want to leave us with? How to process? If they are interested. I know you and I are engaged in drafting the agreement. We're talking about that portion of it. We got the cost, and just not to promote your program on anybody else. But it's fairly competitive with other. It's well within what our students pay when they do study abroad. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, and anything that could beat Long Beach, please give us those opportunities. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. So tell us a little bit some of the things that we may need to know. Yeah.
One more question, I think. Is it possible to send a student from CSUDH and have them join another university's group? We do have some programs where that's possible right now. So far, I think next year it is only the German. I don't believe we have a German language semester or a German language program, but we do have one where we have several university students from different American universities join. And we are working on a more general studies humanity focused semester that could be open for CSUDH students as well. So that's something we're currently working on to offer that as well.
Another question connected to that, Janette. Let's say we have a student who's, I mean, you do this. I just wanted to expand a little bit. The country, in other words, not university, but let's say somebody is interested in doing some programs in Italy. You do that, right?
Some programs in what? Sorry.
So what you do, you'll be centered in Germany. They will be they'll be centered in Bonn, but they have opportunities to go to other places in Europe and right.
Yes. So on the study tours, we do go to different areas in Europe. Yes. So
how about if they do a semester with you and then do a semester? Can you send them to do a semester in another? They're still with you, but they do it in another location or another place where you have connections.
That's something we're not offering currently.
Okay.
They just right now they're just staying with us in Bonn. For the semester,
and the tours, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's always the possibility for them to travel during the weekends. There's always longer travel weekends for students to explore other cities and countries that are within distance where they can easily travel to. So we have a few weeks here and there where there's like a Friday off or a Monday off. Where they can easily travel around if they want.
That's really what is expected, as actually a lot of schools do that.
Maybe one more thing about what you said about how to proceed. So if anyone in this call is interested, I have it right here, but I'm going to leave it in the chat as well. That's my email address. Feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, it's first of all, it's always a casual interaction, getting to know each other and seeing what your department might be interested in, what you might be interested in, and then doing some research and seeing what is out there in Germany and giving some offerings to you. We're really always looking into new areas. I'm currently researching gerontology and aging studies within Europe, which I haven't done, but there's amazing opportunities actually. So we're very flexible in terms of topics, and you don't have to have a fleshed out concept yet when you come to us. So please do not worry if it's just a broader idea, even if you say, I come from this discipline, I don't know what's out there in Europe, but is there anything available? Don't be shy. We're happy to help, and we're happy to offer opportunities to any students that might be interested, because we really do believe in study abroad and in the value of learning another culture and learning other aspects of the world. So anything that you might need from us, we're happy to provide.
Amir, any second thoughts?
Not really. I mean, Janette did a great job of explaining, everything that we offer, I feel like. But if you have any specific questions towards me for like concerning the day-to-day things, maybe I can enter my email address too.
It's AY. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, it's really certainly been a pleasure, and I look forward to working with you. Before we conclude the session, let me bring Rachel, who is leading this afternoon activity. Rachel, if you have, if you can you just introduce us to what's happened this afternoon session at 2:30?
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Salhi. So this afternoon, we're going to have a faculty-led program information session. And this is where our faculty will be talking about these programs they're going to be leading during the spring intersession and summer. So we have 4 faculty who have signed up. We have Dr. Norman, who will be teaching a management course and another business course in Bulgaria during the winter and during spring intersession. And then we have Dr. Kiantash, who will be teaching geography during spring intersession. And Dr. Giacomo Bono will be teaching psychology in Italy during spring intersession. And Dr. Seligson, who will be coupling with Dr. Sarah Taylor, they'll be teaching an anthropology course in Yucatan during summer. So we have these 4 professors who will be talking about their study abroad program, and that's from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So if you're able to attend, please join us. Thank you.
And you have the Zoom link, right?
Yes, we do have the
Okay.
Zoom link, and I can put it on the chat.
Janette and Amir, the plan is to post your session online on our study abroad, so those who missed it could go back. And also, you'll be part of our history. The first time Amir and Janette showed up on campus, this is what you do. Oh, this is what they did. It's a pleasure, and thank you so much. And we'll keep this conversation going, if not in the near future, for a long term. Thank you. Thank you, Anessa, for organizing all the week. And I think we're midway another day, right?
Yes, we are. So as Rachel mentioned, faculty-led programs will be at 2:30. We also are collaborating with one of our student clubs, the Korean Culture Club, for a night in Seoul. So if anybody wants to have fun singing along to K-pop music, that will be at 5 o'clock at La Casita. And tomorrow is our culminating event, which we're really, really excited about, because we are bringing some of our international students, our alumni, to talk about what they've done since they've graduated from CSUDH. So that will be via Zoom as well, and that will be at 11:30 a.m. So all that information in terms of Zoom link is on our webpage, which Sonia has posted on the chat. So we hope you guys can join us.